I loved that Tom Brady was more offended by someone making a Robert Kraft joke than talking about the women who have given birth to his children.
Who's that hoe? Okay, keep going.
I thought Belichick was quite good, and I'm still in like a constant state of shock.
There's not a Paul brother in it. Is it even boxing?
Rob Gronkowski's not allowed to speak in public anymore.
I don't mind Drake. He does have some catchy tunes.
But the idea that we could lose inside the NBA as a total package would be the dismantling of the greatest studio sports show in my lifetime.
F1 in Miami is on the same douchey level as the Met Gala.
I hate when you make points I agree with, and then you say something so stupid that it invalidates everything you just said.
Doesn't do a damn thing for me because a bunch of people ate the Popeyes chicken sandwich and like stabbed each other in lines for it, and I've never even been to a Popeyes.
Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
Of course he is. Do you think there was ever another shot?
But I'd just like to say, if Patrick Beverly was here, I'd like to throw him over the top.
I'm Michelle Beadle.
And I'm Peter Rosenberg, and this is Over the Top.
Here's how the show works. Best stories of the week in sports and pop culture. Face off. We're going to crown a champion and answer one simple question. What is the undisputed most important thing on planet Earth this week? And we decide it the only way we know how. Using Royal Rumble rules. We start with two stories. We decide which one's more worthy to discuss and which one's got to go. After 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced, and we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch to the new one. So we don't know the actual order of any of these stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's up first?
All right, first topics of the day. We may have been wrong about the Kentucky Derby, Beetle, because a whopping 20.1 million people tuned in on Saturday, making it the most watched race since 1989. And according to Churchill Downs, 210.7 million was wagered on the Derby, which ended in a 3-horse photo finish and 18-1 underdog Mystic Dan taking home the victory by a nose.
Yeah.
Now that is up against the second round of the NBA playoffs being in full swing with the final 8 teams remaining, but for most of the league, the offseason intrigue has already begun. All eyes on the Lakers. Last week, they fired Darvin Ham and all of his assistants, making that 6 coaches in 13 years in LA. Meanwhile, Bron can opt out of his contract and become a free agent. Rumors are swirling. Bronny might transfer to an East Coast school like Villanova, and people are connecting the dots, linking the James boys to various Eastern Conference teams.
Dear God.
I know.
Dear God,
funny.
what is this? A Sophie's Choice of garbage?
I know, like, you thought no way we're taking the Derby, but now, like, so sick of hearing what LeBron and Bronny might do. Maybe we should just make fun of the Kentucky Derby.
Let's make fun of the Kentucky Derby.
Right?
Yes. Okay, let's do that. I can't. You and I are both going to have to talk about LeBron James and Bronny James and the Lakers probably the entire summer, unless we quit our jobs. So over the top you go, Lakers. We'll deal with you
later. Absolutely, let's mock the Derby. Photo finish, wouldn't know. Didn't see it. Was watching WWE Backlash, which is on Peacock. And I love the cock.
Yeah, I know you do. I've heard that.
And they said, coming up on NBC, make sure you watch the Kentucky Derby, where there will be a huge WrestleMania announcement. So not only was it reminded to me by Peacock, which I already have, to watch the Kentucky Derby, but I was also told that I would learn something I might care about something I do care about in WrestleMania. And I still did not turn on the horsies.
You know why? Because we already knew the announcement, and I didn't have to turn on the horsies. Same way I didn't have to turn on the NFL draft a couple weeks ago to know everything that happened in that. It's weird how it works this day and age. But no, I went to the farmer's market across the street because I was once paid to go to the Derby. You can't pay me to watch it now. And by the way, just telling me that 20 million people watched it doesn't do a damn thing for me because a bunch of people ate the Popeyes chicken sandwich and like stabbed each other in lines for it. And I've never even been to a Popeyes. So as far as what everybody else is doing, this chick doesn't give a damn. Don't care. Doesn't matter.
I hate when you make points I agree with and then you say something so stupid that it invalidates everything you just said.
I've never been to Popeyes.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you have?
It's not a stance either. It's just I've just never been.
Wait, so you could like change this and you just Beadle.
Yeah, I could go today. Actually, I could probably dash it, whatever. Or dash it.
By the way, didn't you say you were looking for some junk food to watch basketball?
I did, and I
order yourself either just a combo meal, a Popeyes chicken sandwich, get some fries, get some taters. Oh,
you can have fries
the
and taters.
It's Popeyes. All rules are out the window, Beadle. Jeez.
And mashed potato. Can I get mashed potatoes, fries, and taters?
Well, I meant, Matt, when I said taters, I was referring to mashy taters.
Oh, I thought you meant tots.
No tots. I don't think they have a tot.
God, we're stupid.
At the Pop.
Up next. All right, we got the Derby's in. The very live roast of Tom Brady on Netflix. Yeah, I'll say it exceeded expectations, at least according to social media reaction. In the middle of all the jokes, you had former teammates and comedians Kevin Hart got Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft together. They took a shot, albeit begrudgingly. Ben Affleck, somebody check on him. He had a crisis. Nikki Glazer crushed. Gronk spiked a shot glass, obviously. Ron Burgundy made an appearance. And the finale, Peyton Manning surprised Tom to close it out. And of course, 765,000 dick jokes occurred. So, do you want to continue talking about the Derby? I mean, what are we talking about here? Or the roast?
No, we gotta toss those horsies over the top.
But carefully, they're already treated poorly.
Yeah, exactly. We already feel for you. And please don't get a job trotting the streets of New York unnecessarily. It makes me feel terrible. Nothing worse than seeing like an Oldsmobile with a poor horse stuck in behind it. It's disgusting.
It makes me sad.
Did you enjoy the roast?
I actually did. I didn't get to see. I missed a couple at the very, very beginning, so I'll obviously go back. But
well, it was 9 hours long, so
but I did like, because I picked it up probably at the perfect time, because by the end everyone was so sauced and it was chaos. Do you have a favorite part? I mean, it really was like 3 hours.
I would say my favorite part would be Nikki Glazer, who I thought was tremendous, or I thought Belichick was quite good, and I'm still in like a constant state of shock at this face turn for Bill Belichick, who I always really did not like, and
he was unlikable. Truly,
he was so unlikable, and now to see that he's this much fun kind of blows my mind. I do want everyone to know that moving forward at this point, I'm no longer looking at Beadle. I am looking at a live stream.
Oh no.
Of the Met Gala arrivals.
Damn you. I don't have that.
if I ignore you and just start talking about an outfit,
so it's like what dating me must feel like. Great.
Okay. God, I totally forgot to go to this event. I got the tux. I had everything ready. Then I just forgot to go. And I was like, oh, well, Beadle and I are doing the podcast, so whatever. Anyways, up next, a couple of weeks back, we gushed about Ryan Garcia's big win over Devin Haney. Shocked me, certainly.
Yep.
And we're wondering, could this guy really be a new face of boxing? Well, this weekend, Canelo Alvarez was like, hold my beer. He beat Jaime Munguia in pretty incredible fashion. Sent him down for the first time in his career. Munguia had never been on the mat previously, and he won in a blistering, unanimous decision. Do you want to continue talking about the roast? I feel like there may be more from the roast. Or do you want to talk about Canelo Alvarez?
I'll be honest with you. The pre-roast roast was Canelo Alvarez towards Oscar De La Hoya before this fight even happened. So I feel like that was like a good whet your appetite, your whistle for the real roast. So no, I don't really care about that. If there's not a Paul brother in it, is it even boxing?
By the way, amazing point. Now, let's get Canelo over the top, even though I enjoyed that fight. I will watch the next one. Love Canelo. The fact that the guy at this stage in his career just keeps taking on the best fighter possible, I love. Back to the roast.
Yes.
I believe that as a result of the roast, we as society should make a decision. That decision is Rob Gronkowski's not allowed to speak in public anymore.
He can't read.
He can't read. He can't talk. He can't make jokes.
When Kevin Hart kept going, sound it out, that actually made me laugh every time.
Oh my God.
Sound it out, big guy. You got this.
Sounds it out, big guy is amazing. What a boy. Well, I'm back to the Met Gala now. Boy, do I not
miss. Is it still happening?
Yeah, they're still walking the red carpet. And boy, do I not envy. Broadcasting has so many different jobs.
It's a weird industry.
One that I do not miss. Like I really do enjoy like red carpet kind of stuff. If you're the talent that's supposed to be there and you get everything, standing to the side of it and yelling for people to give you time is such a... It's
got to be like demoralizing and it just feels yucky. They're people just like us.
That's right. I've done it. And I back in the day, I couldn't do it anymore.
I don't like it because I'm like, nobody knows who I am. Please just don't make me walk this red carpet.
Who is this woman that we're looking at in the white dress? Her waistline reminds me of mine, if I have to be honest.
White dress. I missed her. And that's What's Her Face.
Lena Waithe?
What's Her Face is behind her. Uma
Thurman. You're doing a hell of a... By the way, this is the commentary people want. That's What's Her Face, and What's Her Face is behind her? I mean, imagine listening or watching this. What are you saying right now?
Up next, the national treasure, and boy, do I mean that is inside the NBA on TNT, is very much at risk right now of going away. You got Warner Brothers Discovery at risk of losing its massive, massive media rights deal with the NBA, which means the fate of Kenny, Charles, Shaq, and Ernie hangs in the balance. Now, Charles Barkley said that if TNT does lose the rights, he'll just become a free agent, and he's unsure about the future of Inside the NBA moving to another network, since it looks like Ernie Johnson ain't gonna leave TNT. So do we want to continue talking about the roast of Tom Brady, or switch to what will be it'll be a heartbreaking moment?
No, Tim Brady, over the top you go. You're out of here.
Yeah.
By the way, I love that Tom Brady was more offended by someone making a Robert Kraft joke than talking about the women who have given birth to his children.
Yeah, it was a weird set of priorities.
Oh my God, it was very strange. Beadle, guess who I see on the red carpet?
Who is it?
Jack Harlow.
Does he look handsome? Oh, it's kind of basic, but I don't mind. Who's that hoe? Okay, keep going.
Okay, sorry. So this is important. The Inside the NBA thing, let me be clear. Wherever they end up, I will watch.
100%.
It not being on TNT will feel weird. And I, as someone who has only spent my quote unquote sports career at ESPN the entire time, I would like to say basketball belongs on TNT.
Yep.
ESPN does a great job. Cool. I will watch on Saturdays. Beadle, what about when you were a part of the broadcast?
I like 3/4 of the broadcast at ESPN, but I try not to stick around for it because the screaming hurts my ears. They bleed. Look, I once hosted the other version of the show. It's the gold standard.
But that's the thing. TNT is the gold standard. Yeah. And I respect Ernie for not wanting to leave Turner because he is Turner. He does baseball. He's been there forever. I really do respect it. But now it kind of makes me hope that they just stay together on Turner because I don't want to see, I'm not ready to have Ernie not be with Kenny and Chuck and Shaq.
Here's what I'm thinking might happen, and maybe it's just me being optimistic, but I think it's doable given the sort of love that everybody that watches basketball has for that particular show. There's nothing like it. Nowhere else are you allowed to be yourselves the way they've been allowed to be themselves for 100 years. So what I'm thinking is you don't have to leave Ernie Johnson. You get to stay and do all those things. Whichever one of these new entities comes in and gets the rights, if that's what ends up happening, they cut out a little sort of exception to any contractual rule and let Ernie just host that show, period. Because first of all, as somebody who loves that, and it's like the dream job, right? To host a show of that caliber with those types of panel. But whoever thinks they're going to come in and take the place of Ernie Johnson, if that's what ends up having to happen, I wouldn't want that. I don't want to be the one that took that job only because of a contract change or a network change. It's Ernie.
And that person, whoever it is, they're going to get hated on so much for so long. Yep. It's going to be really, really challenging.
I say bring them over. Just bring them over.
Up next, the next chapter in WWE's Bloodline story post WrestleMania is taking a crazy turn. Roman's out. So now Jimmy, he's been excommunicated, and there are 2 new members joining the Bloodline. Do you want to talk about the new Bloodline and the major change on WWE television?
Who that is on the left?
Oh, that's Tama Tonga.
Tama Tonga? Do we need to talk about it? Do you like him?
Tama Tonga, I'm excited about Tama Tonga being there, and now his brother is there as well. But I got to tell you,
name Joa.
I think you'll be surprised to hear this. I think we got to toss the Bloodline over the top because that story's just getting started. It's going to be around all summer at least, and it's going to be awesome. The Tama Tonga thing, I think, is an awesome wrinkle.
Tama Tonga.
But the idea that we could lose inside the NBA as a total package would be the dismantling of the greatest studio sports show in my lifetime. Ever, maybe?
Oh, it's 100%. I put it this way. I watch a lot of sports yearly.
You do?
And I very rarely, actually almost never stick around for like halftime shows on other networks or pre-games or post. I just don't. This is literally the only one that I will get up and do what I need to do with 4 minutes left on the clock just so that I don't miss halftime or the post game. Like that's how you know the priorities of this particular show when compared to, the very sport that it's in between. So it's my favorite studio show of all time. I'm being naive. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think they'll figure this out.
I hope you're right, because it's true. You see all these people get money thrown at them. You see people get like, $15 million for Tony Romo and $10 million for Greg Olson and 25 for Tom Brady. And I go, you could have Beadle and my dogs do commentary for football. It would not change whether or not I watch.
Yep.
But literally there are days when I don't care about the basketball game. I just turn, most times during the regular season, I just turn on TNT because I want Ernie, Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq in my house. Like that's why I'm turning on the TV.
I 100% agree with you. I'm sad when it's not their game. All right, we are halfway through the show. You know what? I hope it stays this way because right now, the most important topic of the day is please don't take away the TNT studio show from us. Please. We'll be back. Welcome back to Over the Top. Peter, what's our next challenger?
What's our next challenger, you say?
Yes, please.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Up next, the WNBA preseason is underway, and so far, the much ballyhooed rookies are shining. Caitlin Clark led her team with 21 points and 5 threes. Angel Reese was second in scoring and a rebound shy of a double-double. Nice. So we want to continue talking about the future of inside the NBA or move to the current future of the WNBA. I'm sorry. I know I'm happy that we care more about the WNBA than we used to.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm taking WNBA preseason over this. Are you?
No, but I do think there will come a time because the charter flights versus commercial flights topic has already reared its ugly head. And we, as you said, we're only in the preseason. So this could be an interesting year for women's basketball and maybe some changes headed their way.
It's going to be the biggest WNBA season of all time.
Not
but
close.
For right now, Caitlin, jump your ass over the top and let's keep talking inside the NBA. How about this? Inside the NBA is so big and influential. Fox Sundays, they've been trying to replicate that. I mean, Terry Bradshaw has kept a job being the poor man's Charles Barkley for the last 20 years, in my opinion. Like, that's his whole gimmick, except it's not good.
Well, he's sort of, he's like the country guy that says whatever he wants without
He just says what he feels. But it's like, but he doesn't have the same insight that Shaq has, nor does he have the same comedic chops.
Look, every show, you could make the argument that anybody that's coming up in this business or that is trying to be like part of a studio, I think there are a lot of times people fail because they're trying to do this. And this organically happened because you put two really strong personalities on a panel. You put Ernie, who's one of the best to ever do it, and Kenny, who is kind of like the straight man / guy that runs to the prompter and falls, although that falling part's new. But I think it's just hard. There are not 1,000 personalities like that walking around, as you and I very much know, working in this business. So I don't think you replicate it. And that's why do the right thing. Whoever buys the NBA, just put them in your studio.
Do the right thing. You got to keep it. You got to keep it together, man. I'm not ready. It's not time yet. Remember Ernie was sick a few years ago. We were all scared.
Yep.
We've lost Craig Sager.
Yep.
This Turner thing, if you're a real sports fan, this whole Turner basketball thing is kind of built into your DNA.
It is my favorite, and we will not have it. We will not have it. Up next, I was wondering when we get here, the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar has just really gone off the charts. On Friday, Kendrick dropped 616 in LA. Drake followed that up with Family Matters. Less than an hour after that, Kendrick drops Meet the Grams. He apparently had more to say because he then dropped Not Like Us less than 24 hours later. Drake followed that up with The Heart Part 6. That happened on Sunday night. There are now over a dozen diss tracks between the two with, honestly, I'm not sure if there's an end in sight. Does not feel like it. So do we want to continue talking about the TNT guys or switch to the beef that honestly was all anybody talked about all weekend?
Love inside the NBA had a great run, but in being true to the show.
Yes.
The purpose of the show, which is we keep talking about the things that are the biggest. We have to toss inside the NBA over the top and speak a little bit about Kendrick and Drake, particularly because Beadle has weighed in.
I did.
She made a statement, a very big statement, when she posted the photo with her good friend, Kendrick Lamar. They may have been talking about this beef for all we know.
I like to think I inspired a couple of those lines, probably.
So you weighed in. You made your decision.
That was my vote. That was my subtle vote.
Now, knowing you, Beadle, and I'm not saying this makes you any different than me because I'm known as quite the Kendrick fan.
Yes, you are.
I believe you, even before this started, were Team Kendrick over Drake.
Yes, I don't mind Drake. He does have some catchy tunes the kids like to dance to.
Sure.
But I understand sort of the corniness, or I don't even know what to call it. There's like a hot or cold about him. Whereas on the Kendrick side of things, there seems to be just the utmost respect of an artist. And I feel like that's the difference.
I think that's actually a pretty simple and effective way to discuss it. Because, Drake has always been more popular. But Kendrick has always been more respected by hardcore fans who really pay attention to everything. So it's not shocking that it's played out the way it has. The question for me becomes, when do we get to that jump the shark moment? I mean, it's got to be getting close.
Would we know when it happens?
I think we will. Drake's last song, and as of our recording, the last song, which dropped Sunday night, it felt like the end. It felt like he didn't have a lot of gas left in the tank. Is Kendrick going to bother responding?
Does he just come and burn down the burned down house again?
Well, that's the thing. Like at that point, like Kendrick's already doing so well. At that point, does Kendrick then like punch him again when he's already on his? I don't know.
I don't know if he needs to, but that doesn't mean he won't.
So we'll see. But either way, the shark could be getting close. Speaking of diss tracks, guys, Pat Riley was on a heater in his end of season press conference in Miami. He said Jimmy Butler's recent boast that the Celtics and Knicks would be, quote, home if he was playing. Riley said, if you're not on the court playing Boston or New York, you should keep your mouth shut.
Damn.
Plus, he called Tyler Hero fragile and joked, maybe someday he'll surprise everyone and play every game.
Ooh, that hurts. That would hurt my feelings if I was both those guys.
Do you want to continue with the Drake and Kendrick beef?
I don't know.
Or break down Pat Riley?
It's like Pat Riley, that's his own diss track that he just put out there via the press conference. What do we do here, Peta?
I have breaking news as we're recording the show.
Oh no, not another one.
Beadle?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
Of course he is. Do you think there was ever another shot? Who else would have been it? Chet? No.
Yeah, right.
No. Chet's that douchey guy from Weird Science. That's what a Chet is.
Beadle's not surprised, but congratulations. At least you could be happy.
Yeah, I am happy.
What do? We say Drake Kendrick versus Riley. This is hard.
Pat Riley saying those words out loud? It's kind of a big deal, dude.
All right. I didn't think I'd see it, but I guess Drake and Kendrick are going over the top.
Bye. There'll be more.
Maybe. Yeah, and by the way, maybe Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler, and Drake will all run into each other at Prime 112 one day. We don't know, but Pat Riley, here's the question. Can Jimmy Butler, is he sticking around after that?
I don't think so. I think Jimmy Butler's out, right? Jimmy Butler's moving on. Although it's hard to believe because it just feels like he's become a Miami Heat staple. However, the culture that they've all tried so very hard to convince us of this year looked laughable in that switch that they always thought they were going to just flip on and off never existed. Wasn't even there this year. So it's like there's a lot of stuff you might want to backtrack and rebrand it as the kids say. But that Tyler Hero comment as well, calling him
Sheesh.
fragile, bro, that's hurtful.
So it looks like Jimmy Butler is around next year.
Okay.
And then he has a player option.
Okay.
Can I say something?
You could trade him.
Am I a bad guy?
Probably.
Oh,
there's more.
That when I see Jimmy Butler's contract, because I just Googled his contract, like as good as Jimmy Butler is, I see that number as one of the most overrated numbers in sports.
What's he getting next year? 48?
48.8.
That's
like, don't get me wrong, he's really good, but like, yeah, he shows up in the playoffs for the most part. He's pretty good during the year.
Plays like 50-something games, maybe-ish.
Then he's not available for your playoff series. $49 million. He's in the conversation for most inflated, overrated contract.
I would have that argument. And by the way, the balls to be saying those words out loud when a camera's rolling. Dude, you weren't even in it. You can't say those words out loud if you weren't even
it's like, I'm trying to think of what kind of D-bag would say that. It's like, it's so beneath Jimmy Butler as the level of player that he is.
Yeah, I didn't love it. Did not love it. Up next, the fashion spectacle known as the Met Gala red carpet is happening as we record this. We've mentioned it. The theme is the Garden of Time.
Oh, good.
Good. Let's just make the stuff up now. Co-chaired by She Who Can Do No Wrong, Zendaya, Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and Chris Hemsworth. That's the foursome I thought it would be. Do we want to continue talking about Pat Riley's mean words or switch over to the Met Gala?
I don't think there's more to say on Pat Riley, and it had to be done, but now I don't think there's more to do. And seeing as I'm watching the Met Gala red carpet as we speak, or as me and my co-host in the on Ebro in the morning, me and Laura Stiles call it, the Met Gala. Let's toss Pat Riley over the top. Be careful. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
And let's talk Met Gala. Now, I believe the Met Gala, it used to really piss me off. I sort of enjoy it now just because there's so many celebrities and the ladies look nice. And yeah, the outfits are dumb, but I sort of now get what the themes are supposed to be, even though it's silly.
The Garden of Time.
Oh, the Garden of Time. Come on, you know what that means.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. There's Queen Latifah, though, dressed as a flower.
Like an actual flower?
Well, she has a big flower on her dress. You'll see.
I hope I see. Let me see. Oh, I don't remember this child's name. Oh, no, Kendall Roy. Oh, he looks like a candlestick.
With flowers on it.
Check out Kendall Roy. Jeremy Strong. I'm sorry. I forgot his actual name for a half second.
So let's just be honest, though. Here's the question I want to ask you. Michael K. gets so annoyed by the Met Gala, and today I was like, "Oh, you're such a liar. If you got invited, you would go."
Would you?
And he was like, "I would not go." So let me ask you, Beadle, curmudgeon that you are, you get an invite.
Nope.
You're saying no.
I'm saying no, but I'll tell you why.
Because you're lying. Keep going.
No, because one time I remember. Somebody, I forgot who it was, like Pashley Mishka or something like that. It was like, go to Fashion Week, yada yada. And I was like, all right, I'll do it once, see what it is. And I did not, like, it's not my world. Like unless the theme was pajamas, I would very much show up. If the theme was pajamas and couches, I'd be like, yes, 100, I'll host it. But to me, it's got everything I don't want, like 4 hours of hair and makeup, an uncomfortable gown, walking slowly while a bunch of people take your pictures. God knows what kind of angles you're probably giving them, 7 chins, what have you.
Right. But what about this? What about this? You get invited by a celebrity friend who's really powerful.
Sure. Yeah.
They say you're not walking the red carpet. You're still just being you.
Okay.
All you get to do is come people watch and sit at the table, like the table with the other people. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything. And you don't have to wear the full crazy flower face. You can just wear a normal, like you and your partner can just wear like a gown and a tuxedo and call it a day.
No.
Would you go?
Still sounds awful.
I'm going.
Because you still have to go in that room for hours, Peter. There are hours of crap coming towards them now.
How many hours do you think it is?
4.
I think they're in there for 2-3 hours, and then it's after parties.
I think it's great. I think it's 4 hours of garbage, small talk, and just staring around. Which that part, I mean, if you could just quietly stare at everyone, I guess. But
that's my thing. Like, you don't want to like sort of sit at the cocktail hour, getting drunk, and being like, "Oh my God, look at so and so, look at so and so." That sounds fun.
No.
And are there pigs in a blanket? Because if there are pigs in a blanket,
are there pigs in a blanket? And is there a
my
pasta?
guess is yes.
Maybe. And also, is the food even good? Again, these people don't eat. They're not known for their eating.
Up next, celeb sightings aside, it seems U.S. interest in F1 has faded a bit, with Max Verstappen winning every race lately. That is until this weekend at the Miami Grand Prix, where Lando Norris, who's apparently also a driver, took home his first win. No relation to Lando Calrissian?
No,
is this
none.
not? None whatsoever. Do you want to talk about the very douchey Met Gala or the very douchey F1?
Yeah,
Go
look,
ahead and
F1
choose.
in Miami is on the same douchey level as the Met Gala. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably a lot of the same crossover of celebrities that it went Derby, race, Met Gala. It's like a trifecta.
Well, no, and you had Brady roast too. So there's a lot of things. Yeah,
a lot going on, a lot of zinging back and forth. No, look, I'm happy for Lando Norris. It was his first win ever in F1, long time coming, and it was nice to get a change of pace, because I do agree to an extent that the same guy winning every single week, it does sort of kill any growing appetite that we might have for a sport. We want some difference, just give us something else. So, but I will throw, and look, he's already in the air in the picture that we're showing on the screen, so we'll throw him over the top. They're going to do it for us. Because now I want to know about you, Peter. So you would go to this and you would do the whole like dress up, and what would you do once you got inside?
I would, scoot around with my... Hopefully I'm there with my wife, right? So I'm able to that was the situation I gave you. I'd walk around, I'd check people out. Oh, I'm sorry.
The situation you gave me was my person?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be less inclined to go than I would.
Well, sure, but this is your choice, not his.
That's
so
fair,
in your version, he has to go.
Okay, that's fair.
So I would walk around getting free food and drink, and then I'd look for the handful of celebrities that I would feel comfortable saying hello to, and I'd go, hey, and they go, what are you doing here? And I go, I have no idea.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
That's the
knows.
other thing is I don't like to talk to people if I don't even really know them. So it would be I'd be very shy and quiet.
A funny aside when it comes to the Met, 7-8 years ago, whenever they made the last Oceans movie, Oceans 13?
Was it 8? I think it was 8.
I was asked to be an extra, a celeb extra in the Met Gala scene that they did. So I played myself at the Met Gala.
Amazing.
In the Oceans movie.
I'm going to go look and watch it again.
Unrealistic because I've never actually been invited.
That's all right. That's what acting is, Peter. You acted.
And instead, I ended up in an awkward conversation with Matt Harvey.
Was he in the scene too?
Here's who I saw. Matt Harvey. This is who I spent time with, actually. It was actually a really fun way to be an extra, better than any other situation I've ever seen. Because it was actually at the Met and it was kind of a fake version of the party.
I like this.
Matt Harvey, Nick Mangold.
Okay.
Haley Bieber, then Baldwin.
It's an interesting group of humans.
It was an interesting group of people. Anyways, that's the closest I'll ever get to the Met Gala.
You don't know that, Peter. If that's your goal, make it happen.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Alrighty then. Up next, after knocking off the defending champs in Game 1 of Minnesota's Round 2 series against the Nuggets, the Anthony Edwards hype train is reaching MJ comparison stage with a bunch of fans and pundits calling out their similarities online. Meanwhile, he told Fox Sports, quote, I want it to stop. He's the GOAT. I can't be compared to him. Do we want to continue talking about the Met Gala or switch to old Ant-Man and MJ?
What do you say?
Look, I think the comparisons they're quite simple. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is it not just that each generation we've had an assassin? We had MJ, we had Kobe, we haven't had one since. Here he is. That's what I see when I see Anthony Edwards. He doesn't give a damn, doesn't want to be your friend. I mean, he went up against the guy he grew up loving and talked so much shit to him that it became like a hilarious loop that I watched over and over again. He's got that thing that made us love those other two as ball players.
Are we sticking with that and tossing over the Met Gala?
I think we have to.
Bye, Gala. You know what? I have not gotten to watch enough Anthony Edwards yet to really lean into the oh my gosh, he gives MJ. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to doing it now, but it's a really good point that you make. I mean, yes, people are silly and oh, he looks like him. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's absurd.
But it is interesting to point out the killer part because KD is almost a killer, but his personality is not.
No, not there at all.
LeBron is not quite that either.
Cares too much what people think.
Steph may be the closest, but his style of game doesn't resemble it at all.
Correct. His baby face some kind of gives him up sometimes, but when he does flash through with the killer, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like those. There are those days though when he just literally wants the ball in his hands every possession. Doesn't matter if they're getting double teaming him. He's getting shots off and he's scoring, and it's like, oh wow. But yeah, but he doesn't remind you of Jordan in any way.
No.
Like Kobe and Jordan and Edwards all have like similar-ish build. Like there's other pieces to it. How tall is Anthony Edwards?
I don't know. 6'4"?
Let's see if I'm right.
What are you saying? 6'6"?
He's 6'4".
6'4". I guessed it right the first time. Trust your gut.
He's 6'4". Jordan's 6'6", of course. Kobe was what, 6'5"?
Sounds right. 6'4", 6'5".
So they're all sort of in the same.
They're quick.
Kobe's 6'6" too. Wow, 6'6".
Kobe was 6'6". Wow, I don't think he was that tall. You know, here's the thing, and you're going to have a lot of time to watch Anthony Edwards, and if for somehow crazy, miraculous reason they beat the Denver Nuggets in this series, by golly, we got ourselves something going on. But here's the thing. In round one, he had Kevin Durant. Loved him. Idolized him. In this round, he's got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a buddy, his brother, as he calls him. But in the same breath, he'll say, but in this round, I want to kill him. That's from him. We don't have dudes saying that these days. We don't at all.
No.
So
everyone's friends.
I love it.
Everyone played AAU together. Everyone's a pal.
They all go to Cabo. Yep. They all go. They do stuff together, and it's this kid. Probably maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But when he's on the court, he's a monster, and that's what I want to see.
I know he wasn't on the show, but I'd just like to say if Patrick Beverley was here, I'd like to throw him over the top.
He needs a timeout, just a big old timeout. I'll be honest with you, it didn't bother me, the whole podcast thing, and I know our business decided to all have somebody's back, and that's fine. I don't care because I literally have heard the same words. Did not bother me. What bothered me is throwing a basketball at fans, not once but twice. That to me is more egregious than any words he could have possibly said. But I get the backing of a colleague. I get it.
Well, yeah, it was also just the way that he did it was so disrespectful in front of other people. Like, it's one thing to come on your radio show where like you have him one-on-one and then he's being a D-bag about it. It's another thing like in the scrum to isolate someone. Yeah, is like that to me, it was viscerally annoying.
It was garbage.
That's 90 seconds, which means we've come to a decision. The new, undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week is Patrick Beverley.
No!
I mean the Met Gala.
No.
It's Anthony Edwards is the next MJ, or at least the next guy we say is like MJ. Tune in and enjoy. I've never said
anybody's like MJ, in fairness. This may be the first time I see it. First time.
Kobe didn't give you MJ at all?
No, I'm saying since Kobe and MJ. Like, those were that was it. I've never seen one since, a player that reminds me of.
Well, I'm very, very excited to dial in for the rest of the playoffs and see if it meets this expectation. That is it for us. Tune in next week, everyone. We appreciate you. By the way, while you're out there, do us a favor. Hit a like, hit a review.
I love that.
Send the pod to a friend. Spread the word. All those things.
All those things he just said. I concur.
Next week, we'll determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top. Oh, yeah.